Hey, Summitview family. This is the story behind Joy to the World. In England, in the 1600s, there was a young man named Isaac Watts. You likely recognize his name as the one who wrote the hymn, "When I Survey the Wondrous Cross." As Watts grew up, he found the music at church during his day to be extremely boring and lifeless and dull. He complained to his father about it, and his father advised him to begin writing his own hymns. And so young Watts began to do things that were not traditional during his time, such as translating the Psalms himself and writing songs based on personal experience. Well, by the age of 45, he had written a lot of hymns, and it was compiled into a hymn book with a super long title, the Psalms of David, imitated in the language of the New Testament and applied to the Christian state and worship. I know, it's a mouthful. And in it contained the hymns, "When I Survey the Wondrous Cross," and another one entitled "Joy to the World." This one, though we know it as a Christmas song, was not based on a Christmas passage. It was based on a psalm, Psalm 98, verse 4. I'll read that to you. "Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Break forth into joyous songs and sing praises." And then the next verses describe the joyous response to when the King comes to judge the earth. "Make a joyful noise before the King, the Lord. Let the sea roar and all that fills it, the world and those who dwell in it. Let the rivers clap their hands. Let the hills sing for joy together before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. He will judge the world with righteousness and the peoples with equity." Now, on a side note, if you were listening to David Crowder in 1998, then you might recognize the song "Make a Joyful Noise" as a song that was inspired by the same verse. When Watts wrote his songs, these are the lyrics he came up with based on this. "Let earth receive her King, and heaven and nature sing, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy." Now, there's often a story behind the marrying of lyrics to a melody. When this hymn was originally made, it was sung to the melody of "Come Thou Fount," so it would have sounded like this. "Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King." But it didn't stay that way. 100 years after that hymn book with the super long title was published, a long way away, an ocean away, there was an American named Lowell Mason who was becoming an excellent composer. He wrote 600 hymns, and you'll probably recognize that he wrote the melody to one entitled "Nearer, My God, to Thee." Mason was inspired by the classical German composers. And so when he wrote a melody entitled "Antioch," some had wondered whether he was inspired by Handel's Messiah. Now, he paired it 3 years later to Watts's words, to "Joy to the World." It's still a bit of a mystery how "Joy to the World" became a Christmas song. Maybe it's because of the cheerful melody. Maybe it's that joyful anthem feel it has, the major key that it's set in. But whatever the case, I think it's a wonderful thing that you and I sing a Christmas song that's based on an Old Testament scripture. Why is that? Because when we're celebrating Christmas, when we're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, it's so important for us to connect it to the greater story of the Bible. As we ponder the mystery of the incarnation, God himself becoming flesh in the baby Jesus, it's good for us to remember that that is the very same person who promised to come back as the King of Kings who will judge the world. I hope hearing this story will help you connect better with the song "Joy to the World" this season. Now, for those of you who would like to go a little bit deeper in this, whether in a personal or family devotional, I'd encourage you to pull out Psalm 98 and the lyrics to "Joy to the World, and study them and consider the connection between the baby born in the manger and the coming King of Kings who promises that he will judge the world. Merry Christmas, Summitview family.